Tensions escalate in the Middle East, the latest on an overnight Israeli strike on an Iranian nuclear facility, and the response from the U.S.
Plus, once again, yes, we got rain chances in the forecast. We'll have details on that here in just minutes.
And local organizers are getting ready for peaceful protests against the Trump administration. Now, police are preparing to help keep the peace during these events. A live look outside in Fayetteville. Your 5 News this morning starts now.
Covering news where you live. This is 5 News This Morning.
Well, hey, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on your 5 News this morning. I'm Tiffany Lee. We've got Joshua Weisel with us this morning. A lot of people wondering what that weekend forecast is going to look like. We've got Father's Day. We've got watch parties for the Hogs. People out in Omaha. You can throw in Omaha's forecast, too. I'm sure a lot of people want to hear it.
Oh, yes. So we've got an active weekend. We've got a lot going on, and we'll let you know the very latest throughout the show today. But right now, here's a look locally, and we've got some showers moving across the area, very similar to yesterday, where, again, not everyone's starting off with this activity. But if you're headed out the door this morning, make sure you have the rain gear accessible, just because zooming into northwest Arkansas, you can see kind of lingering shower activity across the area, and some of this activity starting to pick up. We're starting to see a little bit more moderate rain showers at this time across portions of the area, but not everyone's seeing it. Just keep the umbrella handy. Into the river valley, you can see a little bit heavier cell over here near Fort Smith. Now, these are not severe. These are just going to be light to moderate rain showers, and maybe a couple rumbles of thunder or two for the time being. We'll see this throughout the day. Here's a look at those temperatures as you head out the door this morning. And again, 60s and 70s to start off. Here's a look at that hourly forecast as well. And again, rain chances, they're not going anywhere. So unfortunately, similar to yesterday, we're going to see rain chances throughout the day today. I'll let you know how long this lasts and what it means for your Father's Day weekend. And we'll have a look at that Omaha forecast as well. But first, we're going to be talking about traffic across northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. And fortunately, not a whole lot to report on in terms of accidents, but you can see the rain's coming down over here at the Arkansas River and I-540. So just take it slow and easy on your commute out to work or wherever you're going this morning. Hopefully you have a great start to your day. We'll have more in just minutes.
All right, thanks for that, Joshua. Well, this morning, the Razorbacks are in Omaha for this year's College World Series. They took some practice swings on the field ahead of the opening round. The 5 News Sports team is there as well. Here's Alex Stewart with more on the Hogs matchup against LSU.
Welcome into Charles Schwab Field here in Omaha, Nebraska for the 75th edition of the Men's College World Series here in the Cornhusker State. Of course, as all of you well know, in less than 2 days, the Arkansas Razorbacks will take on the LSU Tigers in their first game in what is the game of the weekend. But this won't be the first time these two teams have faced this season. The only two SEC squads left in the NCAA tournament met in the penultimate series of the regular season down in Baton Rouge. A 3-game series that saw the Tigers take the first two, outscoring the Hogs 18-7, but falling to the Razorbacks in the finale 7-4. However, while that series is done, there was clearly unfinished business left between these two. As LSU head coach Jay Johnson said earlier this week, I felt like this was inevitable, whether it was going to be game 1 or the finals. Well, it is game 1, and Arkansas is ready.
I feel like we were going to face LSU at some point in this next week and a half or so, so why not just make it the first game and get it out of the way.
You got two SEC schools playing each other, and they're both very talented, and I don't know how there's going to be enough seats here on Saturday to get them all in there, because there's going to be a lot of red here and a lot of purple here, and I just hope it stays calm in the stands a little bit, because it could get crazy.
First pitch for Arkansas and LSU will leave the mound at 6 p.m. on Saturday, and I guarantee you it is can't miss TV. From the College World Series here in Omaha, Nebraska, I'm Alex Stewart.
Thanks for that, Alex. Well, new this morning, a former Razorback is hog wild for this weekend's big game. Barrett Loseke, who played on Arkansas's 2018 College World Series runner-up team, knows exactly what it takes to make it to Omaha. After following along this season and watching Super Regionals in Fayetteville, he says he and his former teammates have a good feeling about this year's team.
Seems like they have a great team chemistry. Players are enjoying playing with each other. As far as talent goes, I'm sure they're even more talented than our team in 2018 was, so I know that they can win the national championship.
Well, tonight you can check out more Razorback coverage in our extra innings special Omaha edition. The 5 News sports team will talk about the Hogs' quest for the College World Series. That starts at 10:15 tonight. Well, world leaders are working to calm tensions in the Middle East after Israel launched an overnight strike on Iran's rapidly advancing nuclear program. 200 Israeli warplanes were involved in the attacks that killed 3 Iranian generals and top nuclear scientists. Israel's prime minister said that the strike was a preemptive attack focused on Iranian nuclear facilities.
Targeted military operation to roll back the Iranian threat to Israel's very survival.
International watchdogs say that Iran has increased its stockpiles of highly enriched uranium in recent years, which the country says is for civilian use, like nuclear energy. But a spokesperson for the Israeli military overnight said that Iran is secretly building a nuclear weapons program. The White House said that it was not involved with the Israeli strikes, but Iran's foreign minister said the attacks could not have happened without the coordination and approval of the U.S. This morning, Iran announced on state television that it will not participate in planned talks about its nuclear program with the U.S. on Sunday and until further notice. Well, this morning, the legal battle over President Trump's deployment of the National Guard to L.A. is heating up. Overnight, a federal judge ordered the Trump administration to return control of the National Guard to California Governor Gavin Newsom. Then, an appeals court halted that decision, allowing the Guard to stay in place. Hours earlier, Democratic California Senator Alex Padilla, he was forcibly removed from Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem's press conference. On X, Noem accused Padilla of creating a scene, adding that she and the senator later met briefly and exchanged numbers. Well, this comes as a day of protest is expected throughout the nation tomorrow. The No Kings protest against Trump's military birthday parade and decisions made by the administration includes multiple events throughout Arkansas. The Fort Smith police chief says that they will be present at the Fort Smith protest to provide support and help keep the peace.
We want to make sure that they have a successful, peaceful opportunity to air their grievances and protest. It's a guaranteed constitutional right. But we're also not, we're not going to allow things to get violent or property be destroyed.
At least 10 protests are scheduled to take place tomorrow around the state, including in Fayetteville and Little Rock. Well, in other news, the House has passed a recessions package that would look to claw back $9.4 billion from foreign aid, NPR, and PBS funding. President Donald Trump said voting for the bill would be a no-brainer, but a new Senate Democrats report said around 60% of radio and TV stations in states the president won would be gutted by the cuts. The bill now heads to the Senate. Well, here at home, we're learning more details on a deadly shooting incident in Heavener. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation released the victim's name on Thursday. They say 20-year-old Dylan McGee and a 21-year-old unidentified female both had apparent gunshot wounds. McGee was pronounced dead at the scene. They say the female victim is in critical condition. Police also say the apparent shooting happened around 1 on Wednesday morning at an apartment complex on State Highway 128. Well, residents and local leaders in Fort Smith are raising concerns to federal leaders about another budget proposal that could impact national park sites across the country. The 2026 federal plan calls for defunding hundreds of National Park Service sites, shifting the cost and responsibility to state governments. In Fort Smith, Mayor George McGill sent a letter to Senator John Bozeman and others, urging them to fight the proposed cuts. In it, he says that the Fort Smith National Historic Site is vital, not just as a landmark, but to the city's economy, culture, and connection with tribal nations. The director of the Fort Smith Museum of History shared similar concerns.
Can states sustain that? That's a question. I don't know. It might not be possible. And if it's not possible, then we're losing more than a place. We're losing a piece of history, we're losing economic impact, we're losing tourism dollars, and that affects everybody in the city, not just one site.
Well, Congressman Womack, he also made a statement on this after we reached out to him, saying that he greatly appreciates the president's input and the budget is ultimately just a request. He says he values the Fort Smith National Historic Site and is committed to making sure final spending bills reflect the priorities of his district.